Good morning, everyone. Welcome to episode number 53 of Merritt in the Morning. He is 30-year State Senator Jim Merritt. I'm Brad Kloffenstein, President of the Greater Lawrence Chamber of Commerce. We are coming to you today on a special Wednesday edition from the Turn 2 Suites at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Our hosts today are the three Hoosier Amigos, and our guest today on the show is going to be one of the three Hoosier Amigos.
Yeah, we're so lucky. Thank you, Ed French, for giving us entree. Thank you, Ed McClure, for helping us. It's May, and we love May in Indiana.
It is. Now, as we're recording this, we were hoping to have cars buzzing in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, it's the trucks,
yes.
the tow trucks out there.
They'll get some laps in today.
The tow trucks, yes. Yes, I think I saw one turn like an 86-mile-an-hour lap. Good for them. We want to say thanks to our sponsors, the Honey Baked Ham Company. Mm-hmm. Locations at 96th and Michigan Road, also Greyhound Pass in Carmel. And I'm going to pass it over to our fantastic producer, Josh Gillespie. Josh, tell us what their specials are this month.
I'd be happy to, Brad. Right now, you can get $10 off a catering order totaling $100 or more. Or if you do $200 more, you get $20 off. So check out the Honey Baked Ham Company.
That is so smooth.
That is. He's
good.
Great studio voice.
Yes, he does.
Too bad he doesn't have a face for it.
Yeah. Neither do either of us.
He does. So if you're coming out to the track, stop by Honey Baked Ham, get all your track food. They'll hook you up.
What a wonderful idea.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, don't cook it yourself. They'll do it for you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And they've got so many different things there. Chocolate cake, in fact, and turkey. We always talk about the sides and the honey mustard.
Now, Jim, you narrowly avoided having a honey mustard catastrophe. Apparently, there was a honey mustard famine.
Is there
a short one?
Is there a strike?
I don't know if it was some sort of a supply issue, but they got down to like their last 3 bottles.
Oh my God!
In the store.
They didn't call me.
I know.
I've got a bunch at home.
They know that you take a bottle every time you go. Exactly. So thank you, Honey Baked Ham.
Yes.
Also want to thank Stockyards Bank and Trust. Locations all over central Indiana. Let's see if I can remember a few of them.
Oh, goodness.
Let's see. We've got 71st and Binford. We've got Carmel. We've got downtown Indianapolis. We've got Plainfield. We have the Greenwood branch, which is at Emerson and County Line Road. We've got the Center Grove branch, which is on 135.
And we went to the grand opening, and Sheila, wifey, went with us.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm surprised they let us. Maybe they won't let us back.
Sheila was the only reason we got invited in the first
place.
That's
true. Clop Mania hit Center Grove.
That's right. And then they've got 2 more branches coming. I think Whitestown and Zionsville are next up.
Just growing like a weed.
They
Wonderful.
They are. So, Jim, when we're done with this, I'll tell you the story about the crazy man that stopped by one of their branches claiming he had gazillions of dollars, but he was wearing house slippers.
Yeah. He didn't have a sport coat on, did he?
No, he did not. He did not. So anyhow, thank you, Stockyards Bank and Trust, for sponsoring Merritt in the Morning. All right, let's get to our guests.
Let's do.
So, Ed McClure, you are the McClure of McClure Oil.
That's correct.
So how did you get to be a crazy Indiana oil man?
Well, my dad was in the business, and he sold coal and fuel oil, and I went to IU for a while, and I decided that's what I wanted to do, and so we lived in Marion, Indiana, and started some stores in Marion, Indiana, and just kind of took off from there.
How old is the company?
Well, we go back to 1909.
Wow! right when cars. Yeah. Did you know? Did your dad know Henry Ford? Goodness sakes! Yeah.
I can't answer that one.
Yeah. Well, you've had so much success with McClure Oil, and now Kelly is the chief executive officer.
That's correct.
She
That's
is
correct.
running the company, and we're just very proud of Indiana companies, and it just really makes a lot of sense that we have you on because, like my dad, who is going to be 92 this year, he's been coming since the 40s to the Indianapolis 500. What is your memory, your earliest memory of coming to the track?
I think it was in 1949, and it was completely different than it is today.
Absolutely. We had bricks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And did your dad bring you, or
Yep.
did you sneak in, or?
No. The grandstands were a lot smaller than they are today, and it was a thrill. Yep, it was a thrill.
Now, has your company actively been involved in racing?
Not necessarily. Yeah.
Okay. So, like, do you provide racing fuels or?
We do some racing fuels, right?
Okay.
And how many people are employed at McClure Oil now?
I believe around 4,000.
4,000. What a great employer for the state of Indiana.
Yeah. How many locations do you have?
And the number of stores that we have are coming up on 76.
Wow.
That's great.
I love the one at 31 just north of Westfield.
Right.
And that's just perfect place to stop and get a Diet Coke.
And that we'll be losing that site, and we're building a site at 31 and 236.
I see.
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah, because that's like the first place going north that you could actually get off the limited access highway.
right,
But I
yeah.
figured it was a matter of time before they shut that access off completely.
Yeah, right.
So, I assume that you were the one that kind of shepherded the transition from being strictly oil and fuel to then getting into the convenience stores.
Well, yeah,
Tell us a little bit about that transition and how you decided to go all in and when you did that.
Well, when we started, we had bays where we did automobile repairs and wash cars and so forth, and we thought the food items would work a lot better.
Yeah, margins are better for sure.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, what does it take to set up a convenience store? I mean, that's clearly different than the fuel side.
Anymore, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
to put things together.
Through the years, have you sold tobacco products, and is that a big part of what you sell in the convenience store?
It has been, and we have a company called Cubberley's Distribution, and we distribute cigarettes and cigars and things like that.
Chewing tobacco.
Yeah,
And that's your company?
beg pardon?
That's your company?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so it's an offshoot.
Yeah.
So then I assume that services your stores, and you probably sell to others as well?
And there's only just a few of us in the state of Indiana that are allowed to buy directly from the manufacturer, and we're one of them.
Okay.
There are those dry.
So if you hear some noise in the background,
It's not our fault.
That is the jet dryer that is about 40 feet from where we're sitting right
we
now.
wish it was a race car.
I'm actually a little.
What'd you say, Klopp?
I know. I'm a little surprised that the walls are as weighted as they are.
Yeah.
Oh, great! There's a second one coming by.
Okay. Well,
Three. Producer Josh says there's a third one coming too.
sounds like we're at the airport.
It does. I wish we had a second camera so we could show you what's going on. So we'll have this little musical interlude until this third one gets by. Here we go.
Yeah.
All right. It's kind of like, Jim, one time I was on live TV on Channel 8, and I was out in front of the city county building, and a fire truck came by.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
It's like, okay, that ruined the segment.
Ed, you've been, let's see, 70 years or so, 75 years you've been coming out here.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah, look back in time a little bit for us and tell us what a big thrill. One of the thrills I have is just, I was at the finish line when Gordon Johncock and Mears had that drag race down the right after the corner 4, and Mears Johncock beat him by just nary a foot or two. Do you have a thrill that?
There's been a lot of excitement here in the past, and watching the drivers do their thing, and it's been exciting.
Have you met some of the drivers through the years?
Oh yes.
Yeah. AJ Foyt or Mario Andretti and
met both of them.
Yeah. Well, it's I have a little program from one of the galas they had back in the mid '60s, where Graham Hill put the little program on my mom's back and signed it and kissed her neck. And my dad was right there.
Dad's like, I can't make an issue of this.
No, AJ Foyt and Mario Andretti signed that as well, and I still have that.
So now, Ed, I got to ask. So these turn two suites, if you haven't been to them, these were the first suites that were built here at the Speedway, and they've got showers and things. I think these were built to be quasi condos at the time.
Yes.
But I mean, literally, we are on top of the track, and turn two seems to be where the bulk of the accidents happen during the race or even practice. I'm assuming you've seen some pretty spectacular crashes here. Maybe had a couple parts land on your balcony.
Yeah. Yes, a couple years ago there was a wreck here, and a tire went off and went into the
Wrecked that car.
Yeah, right.
And the Speedway bought her a new car.
Yeah, she got one of the parade vehicles. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. That I remember Tom Sneva being a ball of fire in turn two, and you must probably see a lot of the action during the race and qualifications, if that matter.
And if they smack the wall, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You get a little shake and a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm always amazed to see most of these people walk away unscathed,
right.
and they're mad they wrecked.
Well, they've done such a great job with the technology that when there's impact, the car just blows apart, and the energy is separated, and they've just done a great job. Cop, tell me what your best memory of, and how many races have you seen?
Let's see. So my first race would have been, I think, 84. So my folks brought me out, and we sat low in turn 4. And then I know when I was a senior in high school, me and some buddies came out and were in the infield. And I came out most of the years through the late 80s, early 90s, was in the infield. So I've probably been to 35. I know the only one I've missed in the last 30-plus years was 04.
Oh.
And
You know, I
what about you?
my first race was Mark Donahue,
Okay.
winning, and that was such a long time ago. It was probably 1970 something.
72, I think.
72.
That was Penske's first win.
Yeah, and the only one I missed up until 2019 was the 1981 Mario Andretti Bobby Unser controversy, if you will, and Bobby Unser ends up winning that race, and that's the only one I missed over 50 years. And so it's interesting how you talk about how many races, and my parents had a friend that had all the tickets since like 1942, and before it shut down for World War II, and there's just such a tradition of attending, as well as all the things that go with the pageantry and the pomp and the circumstance of the race.
I like to say that hour leading up to the start might be the best hour in sports, and there's no actual sport going on.
There's no denying it. And with the 100th running, where if you looked out here, there were people.
Yeah.
I mean, there was nowhere, and you have a golf course. I mean, there are obviously more than 350,000 people in this facility.
Yeah. Well, and this year, I think they said it's going to be sold out. I
Yes.
mean, it's very close. So, Ed, I want to ask you, so the three Hoosier Amigos suite, so there's Eddie French, who used to own part of Monarch Beverage.
That's correct.
And then the Hydraulic King, and I forget his name,
Greg Christie.
Greg Christie. So I call him the Hydraulic King. That's hey, the jet dryers are back. So there's just two this time, according to producer.
There's
John.
blue sky that way, so
There is a blue sky to the
today.
west. So they're going to be out here. They wouldn't be wasting all this jet fuel if they didn't think they're going to run cars.
Yeah.
So we'll let that pass. I don't know how much of this is actually coming through. So, Ed, back to the three Hoosier Amigos. How long have you guys had this suite, and how did you decide to get together and actually purchase this, rent it? I don't even know how. I assume you lease it, but how does that
I
work?
believe it's been about 8 years.
Okay.
Years.
Yep.
What a great tradition.
Yeah.
And are you out here most of the month for the at least
We
for the
spend
excitement?
a lot of time out here in May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, who's your odds-on pick or favorite this year?
Who's your favorite?
Or who's your favorite driver? Who do you think's going to win?
Well, I'd like to see Ed Carpenter.
Yes.
He's had some great runs here, and I'd like to see him.
Yep.
Yeah, Indianapolis born, and that would be a great story.
Yeah.
Wonderful story. And we see on the screen in the suite Mr. Rahal, and he would be a great story.
Yes, he would.
From Columbus, Ohio, but he really lives in Indianapolis, like most of the drivers do.
Right.
It'd be good to see an underdog win.
I would love to see that. I think, unfortunately, it's probably going to be a Penske again.
Yeah, or a Ganassi.
Actually, I say unfortunately. I mean,
No.
those are fantastic programs.
Yeah,
but,
they are,
yeah,
and they earn everything they get. And do we have sponsors?
We do have sponsors.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me. So, want to thank Stockyards Bank and Trust. Stockyards has been with us pretty much from the beginning, Jim. And
the beginning.
In fact, both of our sponsors have committed to another, effectively 6 months worth of sponsorship. So,
Gosh, can you believe that?
They must not watch the show.
We know they watch the show.
I know they
They're
do.
just
And
being nice.
I love it. So the Stockyards Bank and Trust, they're fantastic. They are a local community bank. They've got branches at 71st and Binford, Carmel, downtown Indianapolis, Plainfield. They've got a Greenwood branch down on the south side at County Line and Emerson. They just opened one down in Center Grove on 135 down near Bargersville. And did I mention Plainfield? I think I did. Yeah. And then they got a couple more coming up to Boone County.
Yeah,
so
that's wonderful.
Thank you,
Great
Paula
company.
Moan, Stockyards Bank and Trust, for sponsoring.
Paula!
Also want to thank the Honey Baked Ham Company. Locations at 96th in Michigan and Greyhound Pass in Carmel.
We are so lucky to have them.
We are.
We are.
They're fantastic people.
Yeah. Put your money in the bank and eat ham. That's all we ask.
If I could have invested in ham 30 years ago when they first got in.
Oh, boy, I wish I had. That's wonderful. They run a great business, and, when you walk into their stores, you just get a smile. And it's great service and
Exactly.
wonderful food.
Now, Jim, I teased this in our last episode. And I don't know exactly the dates, but they're going to go back. They're going to have a month's worth of going back to 1995 pricing.
That's fantastic.
Just giving away ham.
Yeah.
They don't wanna
We've
make
got
any
some
money.
great employers along with McClure Oil. 4,000
thank you,
people you
guys.
employ.
Yes.
Yeah. There aren't a whole lot of companies in Indiana that are 4,000 strong.
No.
They're small. Really, it's still a small business. A mom and pop, or mom and daughter,
Yeah.
or pop and daughter.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I want to get back to the oil business a little bit.
Okay.
Surely you've had people over the years who have tried to buy your company.
Yes, we have.
And what goes into the decision of, do we pull the trigger on this, or are we good doing our own thing?
We're happy doing what we do.
Okay, so you say thanks for the
Yeah,
offer,
yes. Yep.
and now we're going to kick your ass.
Yeah. That's correct.
So okay, so you've got 76 locations. How broad is your footprint?
We have properties in Michigan and Indiana and over in Illinois.
So a Midwest power.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is Indiana the easiest to operate in?
Well, there's a lot of things that go into it.
Uh-huh.
Where you pick up your transportation from your oil products and so forth, and don't want it too far away. But in Indiana, our furthest north is South Bend. We've got a couple stores in South Bend. Yeah.
So now you've got a storage facility. Your headquarters are really up in Marion still. They're at 37. Is that 218?
22 and 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any concern in your shop about electric vehicles at all?
They might have a place, but I don't think I don't see them taking over.
You're still very bullish on the
sure
on
petroleum.
gasoline in future.
Yep. Sure.
Yeah. It's hard to farm or transport heavy things with electric right now.
Yeah. And as well as manufacturing, the whole EV world is still growing, and it's really still nascent.
There's plenty of petroleum sites to fuel your car. Electricity.
Yeah.
It's a little different.
So now, where do you get your fuel?
They come out of the fuel all comes in pipelines to
Okay.
the terminals and so forth. So there's several of them in the state where we go to.
Okay. So yeah,
It's interesting. So there's and then it's put into a truck,
Right.
tanker truck,
Yes, yeah.
and distributed.
Right. Yeah, that's correct.
so Grant County 100 years ago produced a ton of natural gas and some oil. Is that how your family got its start?
Not really.
Okay.
My dad was primarily in the early part of his life. We delivered coal. People used a lot of coal
Right.
back then.
Yep.
And then he got into the heating oil business, and then we started with the gasolines and so forth.
My dad used to have as a chore for a neighbor to fill their coal furnace,
Yeah.
while they're on vacation. Yeah, it just
I remember when I was a kid, we had the fuel oil, and a truck would come and
Right.
fill it up. What was your first job in the business?
good question.
Pumping gasoline, probably. We just had a couple of pumps out in front of our office building, and so I did that. To
How
start
long
with.
was your dad in the business?
Probably 50 years. Yeah. Yeah.
So, when did you really start branching out and growing?
When I started working with the company. So, yeah,
You wanted to grow.
yeah, sure. Yeah, sure did.
So, what do you look for in a site, a location?
The amount of traffic and so forth that's involved, the easiness to get in and out and so forth. And it's every site's a little different.
Right.
So
Well, and sometimes the neighborhoods change. You,
Yeah,
you had
right.
that location at 42nd Midhofer that I know you got rid of a
Right.
couple years ago,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the one in Fountain Square.
Yeah, we did sell that off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
sold it off just in time because
Yeah,
I think there was a
yeah,
murder
yeah,
in the
yeah.
parking lot there a month ago.
Yeah, so anyway.
Sorry, I just killed the show right there with that.
Yeah, that's all right.
Well, your timing is terrific, and when are you looking to expand to more sites?
Oh, sure. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
Now, do you do that just open your own, or are you looking at acquisitions, or some of both?
Both.
Okay.
So you've grown through acquisition.
Yes, we have. Yep. Yep. And then when you do that, it's probably a lot of remodeling to do to the site and so forth.
Yeah, you got to rebrand it, and
Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
Actually, sounds like the money's being in the sign business.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, in the construction business, no question about it. Do you sometimes go into small towns and look for sites, or is it more massive traffic?
We have some units that are in small communities, and probably we just kind of acquire those and see what we can do with them. Yep.
Well, you own Marion.
Yeah,
Know that.
yeah. What
Yeah,
a
we do
wonderful
have
city.
few of them.
Great mayor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the mayor on our show
Yeah,
when
exactly.
he was running for mayor.
Yeah, Mayor Morrell. Ronnie Morrell's a wonderful
Yes,
mayor. For
yes,
you.
he is.
Yeah.
We need to see if we can get him back. He might be too big time for us.
Now, did you grow up in Marion?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yep.
And that was a completely different town now,
Right.
and as it was when you were growing up.
Yep.
What was it? Fisher Body was up there.
Fisher Body's there. Yeah,
uh-huh,
yeah. They've been there for quite some time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And yep, and I'm a graduate of Oak Hill High School.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Coach
First
Kiefer.
year they were open.
Oh boy, Coach Kiefer, retired from Lawrence
Yes.
North, but he was at Oak Hill as
Yeah,
well.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep. He's done a good job.
He has. Wonderful people.
See, Nate Spangle should be here.
Yeah.
to talk about the mascots again.
Yeah.
So, what is the mascot for Oak Hill?
Well, it's
Golden
Marion-
Eagles.
Golden
And
Eagles.
the Marion Giants, I think.
Marion
right?
Yeah,
Giants.
Marion
Oh my
Giants, yeah.
gosh. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And I knew more people probably at Marion High School than I did at Oak Hill.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's spread around a little bit.
Yep.
Yep.
So, What is your favorite part of the month of May?
Race day.
Yeah. How early will you get here?
Um,
Do you have a tradition or?
we'll probably get here 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Just to watch all the pageantry.
Right, yes.
Yeah. Now, does Kelly, your daughter Kelly, come with you?
No.
No?
They're in a suite downstairs.
I see.
She comes with some other people.
They don't want to hang out with Dad?
Yeah. Beg pardon?
They don't want to hang out with Dad?
Oh, boy.
True daughter.
Mm-hmm. Well, this has been spectacular.
It has been. It has been.
A day at the track.
I
Merritt
love
in the
having a
morning.
day at the track. We can get to hear the jet dryers, and I have all the confidence in the world there will be cars on the track in 90 minutes.
No doubt about it.
So, Ed, thank you very much for your hospitality. This has
you,
been
fellas.
wonderful. Love being able to pick your brain about business and just, get a little bit of your history.
And I think it goes without saying that thank you for employing 4,000 individuals, a lot of Indiana citizens, and Indiana has 300 communities, but we have countless small businesses, and that's really what Indiana's built on.
Yes.
No question about it.
Thank you for staying the course and not selling out.
Thank you, fellas.
You're welcome. Oh, and thank you to Ed French. He wouldn't come on camera, but he can hear me right now. And he's in the background. He's the one that who helped set all this up. So thank you, Eddie, for doing that for us. So thank you once again to Greyhound Pass and Carmel. 10% off catering orders, the big catering orders, $100 or more. If you're coming out to the track, stop by there. They will get you all hooked up. Also, thank you to Stockyards Bank and Trust, locations all over central Indiana. They're also all over Kentucky, or at least the Louisville area. So, and they're big supporters of my wife's company, Vips.
Yes.
So,
Very important.
It is. So, thank you, Stockyards Bank and Trust. We will be back next week, I believe. We'll be talking to Vanessa Green Cinders from the Indiana Chamber of Commerce.
Wonderful.
So, thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.